Avalanche is one of those projects that had an insane price development this year. Now it's time for its ecosystem to pop, and with Avalanche Rush around the corner, we might get just that. What's up? My name is Caroline and this is Wealth in Progress, where you'll learn how to make passive income with cryptocurrencies. In this video, we'll look at Avalanche Rush, which is Avalanche's 700 million incentive program. We'll look at the potential impact this could have on the Avalanche ecosystem, and I'll tell you what I'm doing specifically. Now, we've already shared an absolute Avalanche gem in the DeFi Academy called Teddy Cash. We first talked about it when it was at just 17 cents, so if you had got in back then, you'd have already made more than a 29x in just about 2 weeks. So if you're interested in getting information about those kind of gems early on, then go down to the description and subscribe to my newsletter to get all the information about how you can join the DeFi Academy as well. Alright, let's dive in. Alright, so this is the initial announcement of the Avalanche Foundation. So that's from August 18th, and you can see that they announced a 180 million DeFi incentive program. Now, the amount of the incentive program actually depends on the AVAX price. So they have determined a certain amount of AVAX that will be distributed for around DeFi protocols as an incentive. The newest statement is now that it will be 700 million. So the first two projects that Avalanche wanted to actually bring on the Avalanche blockchain are Aave and Curve. So they say here, Avalanche Rush will bring Aave and Curve, two of the largest DeFi protocols by total value locked TVL, to launch on Avalanche. So they've initially been on Ethereum, and now they'll launch on Avalanche as well. So then they say phase 1 of the Rush program will launch soon and provide the Avalanche native token AVAX as liquidity mining incentives for Aave and Curve users over a 3-month period. So Avalanche Rush will first start for Aave and Curve, and then they plan on additional allocation for phase 2 in the coming months. Now, in the meantime, there have been a bunch of other projects that have been announced that will also participate in the Avalanche Rush. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's first look at a more recent article that summarizes the whole thing very well. So this article is from September 25th from Yahoo Finance, and as you can see, it says the long-awaited launch of Avalanche Rush incentives is due to start next week, according to a cryptic Twitter post from Avalanche. So they're probably talking about this tweet, so this is a short video. Let's quickly watch that. And you can see they have Aave and Curve for the Rush next week. And they tweeted that on September 23rd. So next week would be now this week. So we don't have the exact date yet, but it should launch this week. Now, this article points out very well what's so great about Avalanche Rush, because it's not only an incentive for projects to come over from Ethereum, but it's actually also an incentive for the ecosystem to grow in general. So they say here, it's anticipated that Avalanche Rush incentives will bring greater growth to the TVL and yields available to DeFi users. A number of leading DeFi platforms have also been allocated incentives alongside Aave and Curve, including SushiSwap, Benchy, YieldYak, and Pangolin. Now, the latter three, being Benchy, YieldYak, and Pangolin, are already Avalanche projects. Now, SushiSwap is an Ethereum project and will come over to Avalanche, but the other three are already in the Avalanche ecosystem. Now, if we look on their Medium page, you can see that a bunch of other projects have since joined as well. So we have here YieldYak, then we have Kyber Network, then we also have Paraswap entering Avalanche Rush, and so on. So you can read through that for yourself if you want. I'll leave all the links in the description. But as you can see, a bunch of projects have already joined, and what Avalanche has basically said is that native projects, Avalanche projects, can apply to be included in the Avalanche Rush. That means that they would get part of that whole 300 or 700 million by now, that whole incentive program. They will get part of that, and what will happen is that this will be distributed to the users. So AVAX tokens will be distributed for people who are using the DeFi protocols, who are locking certain tokens, and AVAX will be distributed this way. So why is this so great? Well, I anticipate that this program will bring a whole lot of new users into the Avalanche space. You can already see the price impact that simply the news has, so that's a regular thing that happens. So it was on August 18th, I think. So it was at around $26, and now it went at the all-time high it went to $76 more or less. So you can see that has already had an insane price increase, and what I think will happen is that a lot more users will come in because those programs who are participating in the Avalanche Rush will have very good rewards. So they'll be able to pay out very good AVAX rewards for people using their project, plus it will also incentivize other projects to come over from Ethereum. Now, right now, the majority of layer 2 projects or of smart contract blockchain projects are on Ethereum because that has been the earliest one, but the high fees and the very slow transaction process is still a very big hindrance. Now with Avalanche, Avalanche is basically putting itself out there and saying, hey guys, hey projects on Ethereum, come over to me, it's really easy. We also have a bridge. They have a very nice bridge where you can also bridge tokens from Ethereum to Avalanche. So they'll say, hey, it's really easy. We even give you money and you can distribute that to your users. Just come over here, we have this program, and what I think is this will bring a bunch of awareness and of interest into that ecosystem. And maybe Avalanche will not have the hugest pump ever because it has already a very big market cap. It has already a market cap of 46 billion, but the ecosystem and a lot of these smaller projects have still a lot of potential. Now, another interesting fact or another interesting stat that we can see as a result of the Avalanche Rush news so far is the monthly active addresses or users. So Jay is part of the Avalanche team, and you can see their monthly active addresses have skyrocketed. So in the beginning of the year there have been hardly any, then a little increase, then a drop, and now you can see for September it has absolutely skyrocketed. Now, I believe this is only the beginning. With Avalanche Rush coming on and with a lot of those incentives being paid out, I think this is only the start and will go much higher from here on. As always, this is no financial advice. I have no guarantee that this will pump, that the ecosystem will pump. I'm just looking at the facts and I'm estimating what will be the outcome. So what I'm doing now is that I have allocated a good part of my portfolio to the Avalanche ecosystem, and I'm actually having the majority of this part of my portfolio in the ecosystem and not in AVAX itself. I think AVAX will go up, no doubt, with Avalanche Rush as well, but I think the ecosystem, the small projects like Teddy, like we've shared in the DeFi Academy so early on, I think those have much more potential for a price increase in the short-term future. If you want to see my exact portfolio and all of my trades, that's also a part that you'll get in the DeFi Academy, so don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter so you get all the information about how to join. But yeah, basically that's what I've done, and it's actually been a very smart decision because while the rest of the market has been going sideways or even a bit downwards, the part of the Avalanche ecosystem has been on a rise already. So I've made a pretty good profit from that already, while the rest of the market has actually been going down. My portfolio has had a new all-time high, so that's pretty cool. And my plan is once this rush, or once the effect of the rush is showing fruit, I'll probably slowly DCA out of that position and go back into the rest of the market again, such as Cardano, Ethereum, and maybe some of the other big projects. So yeah, that's it for this video. That's what Avalanche Rush is and what I think will be the impact that it has on the market. What do you think? Are you bullish about Avalanche Rush as well, or do you think it's more like a buy the hype, sell the news kind of thing? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, share with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!